Hi, welcome again to my channel. It's been a cold wet day in Melbourne, so I've been binge watching Elvis. I've started watching these these DVDs from the 8 set of DVDs on the Essential Elvis, and today I watched the first three. Let's see where I'm going to order. I should have them order. Okay, the Memphis years and the television years. Disc 2 is the Hollywood years, part 1, 56 to 61, and the Hollywood years, part 2, 1962 to 69. All these DVDs are about 105 minutes, so a lot of the day's been binge watching Elvis. And the third disc I watched is the Army years and the Memphis Mafia. So I made a vow about a month or two ago that I was going to watch all my Elvis movies once I got them all. One movie every night. Well, I got up to follow that dream, and then life got in the way. I didn't do the rest. So, in the mail I've received this book the other day, Elvis, Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, the November 1976 tour revisited, by R. Jan Dealin and John Daly. Great photos. And this book by Paul Lecter, Elvis in Vegas. Lovely, heavy books with lots and lots of photos. This book, the Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, was produced by the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop, which is interesting. I bought some stuff from them before, and they're really good. Every time I buy stuff, they send me a whole pile of little extras, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'm going to flick through these books because they're really worth having a look through. And I just want to ask those of you who buy these books with mostly photos, do you ever read the text? It's worthwhile. It's amazing some of the things you pick up. I've actually made a little note of some of the things I'd like to mention when I'm going through the book. In the meantime, I'll show you what I've got from EP Boulevard Pawn Shop. Of course, their business card. And I've got more of these collector cards. They sent me half a dozen last time, and they've sent me more this time. I mean, there's a couple of hundred in the set. So I'm obviously not going to get them all, but hey, that's all right. I treasure what I've got. Each one's got a little description on the back of what they are. Excuse me. That's their postcard, business postcard. This is a postcard advertising the Elvis Festival in Tupelo in 2023, but it's a standard postcard, so I can use it as a postcards anyway. This is a card which just promotes the Elvis history on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop, John Daly. And this is just a beautiful postcard, an ordinary postcard of Elvis as it is. Then they send me brochures of about Graceland and the complex over there, which it just blows my mind. I've had an offer to go over the next year with a friend, and I'd love to, but I just don't know this. I mean, when you look at the size of the place, it's enormous. And I've got arthritis in my knees, I need a walking stick. And I certainly wouldn't be taking a wheelchair over there. Not that I need a wheelchair, but yeah. I'm thinking, I'd love to go up, but I don't know whether I'd be able to make it. So, now, these books, Guaranteed to Blow Your Mind, I've read about this because it was about the November 1976 tour revisited. Well, that was the tour where I saw Elvis, so I had to have this book, had to have it. And there's just a few things before I go through and start showing you the photo, do the flip through. I just want to read a couple of things out to you. I'm just going to check the camera. It's working. Oh, yep. Yep, it's working. There's nothing on the front that I can see. I've got to look at the back of the damn thing. Okay, in the preface by Charles Stone, he's employed by Concerts West as a concert promoter for the company. I promoted and toured with most of the major musical acts. At the Anaheim show, I was informed by security that there was a limo requesting to park backstage. No one was allowed to park backstage other than the show members. As I approached the limo, the driver cracked his window and pointed to his back windows. The window rolled down, and to my surprise it was Elizabeth Taylor. I had to tell her she could not park backstage. Sadly, having to deny her request was one of the hardest things I had to do all day. Elizabeth Taylor. Who would have known that Elizabeth Taylor was an Elvis fan? or even mildly interested in Elvis. Okay, page 20. Where are we? Oh yeah, okay. Cheryl Milson says, people were never ready for the excitement that was generated at the Elvis concerts. Several security guards had their ribs broken by women rushing the stage. There was one situation I remember. There was a woman who lay there on the floor with her legs trembling. As we were leaving, I asked a security guard what happened, and he said she'd become so excited that she jumped off the balcony and broken both her legs. Oh. And there's a few more little instances of things people did. Wow, God. Okay, page 25. Oh, yeah. This is Jerry Schiff, Elvis's rhythm guitarist, who said this. When Elvis sang a song, you just knew the song was going through his mind. It wasn't just coming out of his mouth, but it was going through his mind and affecting his emotions when he sang. So many singers sing a song and they're thinking about the way they're going to sing, the projection, the phrasing and so forth. When Elvis sang a song, it was just going through him and it came out to the people that way. He was probably better at that than anybody that ever lived. And Jerry, I agree with you entirely. I've been trying to explain for 45 years what it was like to see Elvis singing on stage, how he projected himself, his voice, his whole soul, his heart and soul. It was just amazing. Page 20, 25, page 30. No, I'm going to read that out, but I won't. There's a review, Nevada State Journal, November the 26th. And this journalist talks about the concert, and he just rubbishes it. The whole thing, I think, why even put that in a book? It just gives me the shits. Really, I hate that when people rubbish Elvis. The journalists. Anyway, don't worry about it. Okay. Is it page 36? Okay. One of the fans has written something here. I was in that audience and it was by far the best singing Elvis did in the year 1976. He was in a great mood and his voice was in perfect condition. When he hit the crescendos in Hurt and It's Now or Never, I thought the roof would come off the building, and again that's something I've said myself and I've been telling people about the concert I went to. Elvis sung with a precision and power that was reminiscent of how he had performed several years earlier. One thing I find sad is that Elvis's voice had a special quality to it that the recording technology of the time seemed unable to reproduce. You had to hear him live to experience it. His voice cut through the air like a stiletto with a certain magic edge to it that is now lost forever. How true is that? Anyway, that's, like I said, that's just some of the text that really grabbed me. I'm going to turn the camera around because I tried to do this before and it didn't work. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to turn the camera around and hold on to it and turn the pages. If I can get that strap out of the way. Right, this is the best way to do a flip through, I think. The tour, the dates, and who was involved, the musicians, the warm-up, the songs performed, negatives from the original photos. Oops, sorry about that light. Oh, darn it. I would have known that would happen. Then we've got newspaper clippings, tickets, photos of tickets and so on. You know, I'm buggered if I know what happened to the tickets. Oh, Wayne must still have them, I don't know, but when I fled my first husband and moved to a place on my own, I took as much as I could, but somehow I missed taking the tickets to the concert, the stubs. I'm sure he must have had them. Great photos. And the different, the band members and other people have written little paragraphs in interviews, said things about the concert they were at, or that they played at the time. And again, they're really interesting. There's that Dick Rub. These are again some of the background notes. And this, this article is by a journalist in Nevada. And he put shit on Elvis, he put shit on J.D. Sumner and the stamps. And it really, I don't know why they even put that in this book. It just really annoys you. I hate it. These smart-ass journalists, right, look down their nose and say this was wrong and that was wrong. I just wonder if they feel the same now that Elvis is gone. Probably. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are okay. Well, there's an interesting thing here. I don't know what this is, a personal ad or something. Thanks, Mum. I'm only 22 years old, but for as long as I can remember, I've been an Elvis fan. And living in North Dakota, there's little chance that Elvis would tour there. So she'd obviously come down to San Francisco. That's in North Dakota. I've always imagined that Elvis went to every state in the Union. I don't even know. I wonder if he went to Alaska. But maybe there wasn't the venues to do it, so maybe he didn't go to all the states. It'd be interesting to know, though. I do have, in a book I've got, I do have a list of all the places he went to, all the places he did tours. Hard-bitten news something or other, finds Elvis still carries that jingling charge. Oh, that's obviously a good article. Elvis, it's a pleasure to be here. God, the stage is high. Just one wrong move and yeah, he sure got close to the stage sometime. At the end. Oh, funny. San Francisco, November the 28th. This is where I was, and these are some of the best photos in the book. I thought my photos are pretty good, but hey, I did have certainly did have an expensive camera, but I mean, it wasn't like a news, the cameras that the journalists and newspapers and magazine people had. There's an interesting bit in one of the somewhere in the book in this book I mentioned too that Elvis had gone back to an old guitar that he had used in the 50s. Looks pretty scratched and beaten up too, doesn't it? I know in the photos I've tried to see. I've got photos of him with the guitar. And it hasn't even got Elvis Presley along there. It hasn't got any decoration on it. So you wonder why he did these things. Let's see. Ah, beautiful. That really was a beautiful jumpsuit, that Arabian one. I love that. I'm not sure whether he was singing America the Beautiful or... Actually, my camera's running out of battery here. So I'll just have to do a quick flip over the rest of it. So if the battery runs out, you've seen most of the book, and if you can get hold of it, it certainly is worth having. It really, really is. Fabulous, fabulous photos and great text. And this article here is Australian Fan Club President Wayne Hawthorne, my ex-husband. And he wrote an article about the concert that we went to. Quite good, actually, too. Yeah, it was fun reading that. Brought back a few more memories. And this is November the 29th, the concert the night after we saw him. There are reviews by people who went to both concerts, and they said he was better at this concert than he was on the 28th. Well, I don't know, I wasn't at the 29th, but by gee, I couldn't imagine being any better than when I saw him. Just seeing him, full stop. Who's going to compare? Who is going to compare? So, yeah, great book. 70s. Oh, this is an interview with Ed Bonger. It's quite long. I haven't read that yet, but I will. The battery's holding out all right. So, yeah. Again, fantastic book. Well worth getting if you can get hold of it. And you should be able to. It's not that old. It's expensive, but hey, it's worth it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.